Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I just finished watching episode 10 of X-Men 97, the season finale. I say season because we are definitely getting a season 2. And yeah, of course, the show ended just as epic as it's been for like the entire run of the show. This has truly been an impressive feat. Like, I don't know what kind of behind the scenes drama was going on. I know the showrunner was let go before the show even started, and it's been a mystery ever since. There's been some rumors going around as to why it might be, but nothing concrete at all. One day we'll get those answers. But as it stands right now, regardless of what happened behind the scenes, the show itself, the end result, has been amazing, and there's no arguing that. Just wow, just okay, let's just jump into it. So basically, yeah, we start off with the professor managing to take control of Magneto's mind and force him to turn the Earth back the way it was. So we solved problem B. Let's call it problem B. So we solved that problem, and of course this is kind of crossing a line for the professor because he's basically broken Magneto, and so he's gonna spend the rest of the episode trying to piece Magneto back together because he had to break his mind in order to get him to do what he wanted. And now, like, okay, let's try and fix this guy. But now we have problem A is back online again. Of course, we have Bastion and all of these Prime Sentinels, all these human beings who are Sentinel infected zombie robot people. So problem A is back online. Now we got to deal with this again. And this one did not last as much of a problem as I thought it would, because as you might remember from last episode, Jean was fighting off a mind-controlled Cable who's being mind-controlled by Mr. Sinister, and she seemingly died. But of course, that always happens to Jean. So hey, guess what happens? She comes back as the Phoenix. And the Phoenix coming back, of course, this is, I guess you would say, beyond Omega level, right? This is like almost the most powerful thing in all of Marvel. So, of course, Mr. Sinister and Bastion, not really much of an obstacle for the Phoenix, right? And the episode, if they had chosen to, you kind of could have almost ended it here, right? Like, because she takes Mr. Sinister and she just shreds him of all of his mutant DNA, all of this weird splicing stuff that he's done to himself, the reason he looks like that. She like sheds all that out of him. Now he's still, he's still really pale and has the sharp teeth, but now he's like an old man. So like, I suppose, I know he's like supposed to be a couple 100 years old, and he's just look, Mr. Sinister is still a mystery to me. I don't really get his deal, like, I know that he just wants to use mutants as like science experiments, and he kind of just used it to make himself improved, because he was just a normal guy at first, but he's just like a weird genetic freaky guy who does some shadow powers, I guess. I don't really know. Either way, not a problem anymore, at least for now. Mr. Sinister is basically taken off the board by the Phoenix, and then the Phoenix goes ahead and slaps that headband onto Bastion, disconnecting him from all the Prime Sentinels. So problem A is gone. So now there you go. Problem B, the whole, the Earth losing all of its power and, human mutant war, that seems to be gone. And problem A, all the Prime Sentinels also gone. Good job. Episode over. But no, of course not. So the Phoenix kind of just goes away, and I think for me this was really the only time it was kind of a hand wavy, like, oh, the Phoenix is gone, but it came back temporarily because I was dying, but I had to protect my son, Cable, so the Phoenix came back but just for like a second though, and now it's gone again, just in time for Bastion to basically say, like, well, fine, I'm gonna turn myself into a big metal winged, like, even more cyborg guy, and I'm gonna go crash that asteroid. So, if I can't do it with my Prime Sentinels and I can't do my whole future plan, fine, I'm just gonna literally pull an Ultron and drop a giant rock from the sky. So now his plan is to just take asteroid M and drop it from the sky. That's what he's gonna do. Kind of a last minute plan there, Bastion. And here's where I'm kind of a little lost as to what exactly he wants, right? Because I understand that the Sentinels ultimately always, they stop mutants at first, but eventually they go like, yeah, but we gotta stop humans too, because humans will eventually birth mutants, so we gotta stop humans. And the Sentinels ultimately always turn against their creators, and you know, it's just robot Terminator apocalypse. Like, that's always the thing, right? So I guess that's what's happening with Bastion, where he's just like, screw it, I'm gonna kill everybody and I'm gonna be the only person left. I guess that's his plan. So you know, he goes there, tries to disrupt the gravity thing, and we have Professor X and Magneto basically in a coma for the entire episode. Wolverine is knocked out, he's slowly healing, which the animated series have never, like, at least as far as I recall, they never like fully like demonstrate how much he can heal and how quickly he can heal, because obviously back in the day there was much more of a limit as to like how gory you can make things. You couldn't have like giant bloody flesh wounds or something, so you couldn't like really show him healing up like you do in the movies. So he's sitting here on the table, and you know, I guess you could say, yeah, he's got a, you know, the coating around all of his skeleton was ripped out of his body, so even with his healing factor, I guess you could say it might take him a couple hours, you know, because that's a lot of stuff he's got to heal back. So okay, granted, he's just out for now. And basically, yeah, you just have Bastion coming in here, and they got a lot of awesome fights, everyone trying to stop him, and then the military does something, and I don't really get this. So, you know, we get a bunch of cameos, awesome cameos. You know, we got Daredevil, and of course Spider-Man and Doctor Strange and Iron Man and Captain America are protecting the president, and we have Cloak and Dagger and a whole lot of other people, just so many people. Black Panther shows up. Anyways, so what the president decides to do here, I don't understand the plan, okay? Because they have a folder and they're like, these are the Magneto protocols, you know, like this is, I guess, what we do to stop Magneto. And our big plan, at least as far as I can tell, and if I'm wrong, someone correct me, as far as I can tell, their plan is to just shoot a bunch of missiles towards Asteroid M and blow it up. And that's it. Like, you needed a folder labeled Magneto protocols for it to ultimately just be missiles thrown at Asteroid M. Like, oh, alright, I guess. And my thing is, the asteroid's coming towards them, and they're like, here's our plan, we'll blow it up, because that thing's like a big threat, right? But when they shoot the missiles, what it ends up doing is disrupting the gravity thing that was keeping the asteroid in the sky. So they ultimately are gonna like end up dooming themselves, you know, and that's basically what happens. Like, it's like, oh great, you shot it with missiles and now it's falling from the sky. It's not just sitting there, now it's falling. Good job. I don't know what the plan was, you know, like those missiles were not enough to shatter it into tiny pieces where it's not a threat anymore. They just blew it up a little bit, disrupting its gravity stabilizer, and now you got a big problem on your hand. Way to go. I don't, you know, like, so if I'm wrong, if there was some other plan here and I just didn't get it, let me know. But as far as I can tell, that was it. That was the whole thing they were going to try and do. So okay. Anyways, of course, Xavier and Magneto are talking, and Magneto ends up waking up and he's like, Magneto lives. And here's where something happens, and they kind of explain it at the end, but like, you know, I'm sure we'll get a better explanation in season 2. Magneto ends up shooting out a wave of his powers, and Asteroid M blows up into a bunch of tiny scattered pieces. And then that seems to be it. Like, everyone, all the X-Men are dead. Everyone's gone, at least as far as the world and Forge is aware, because months pass and everyone seems to be gone. But here comes Bishop out of a time portal. Finally, Bishop's alive. We've been wondering where Bishop was gonna go, because, you know, we were just told he was lost to the time portal. So Bishop shows up to Forge, and he's like, oh, they're not dead. You know, the X-Men are just kind of scattered across the timeline. So we have basically half the X-Men are sent to ancient Egyptian times, where of course they run into a not yet apocalypse version of Apocalypse, who, you know, I'm sure they'll go into his whole story. And then the other half go into the future, the distant future. It's well, actually, I think it might just be Jean and Scott are in the future. I think everyone else is in the past. Anyways, so Jean and Scott are in the future, and they come across Nathan Cable, but a young Nathan, and someone else with their last name. It seems like, I had to look it up because I'm like, who is this person? And I guess it's one of their daughters, a younger daughter, but the daughter's older than Cable because Cable time traveled, even though Cable would technically be her older brother. You get it. It's complicated, but some kind of crazy timey-wimey thing, and Apocalypse is probably involved there because there was an after credits sequence where Apocalypse's hand is shown to be grabbing Gambit's card. So he'll probably be resurrected as a horseman, right? Because that's what he does. He resurrects people as the horseman. And I knew there was going to be some way to bring Gambit back. Because I'm glad they made it pretty much permanent. And if they find this like kind of workaround without undoing the event, they didn't use time travel to undo it. This is a pretty good way to do it. I think like if you're going to bring him back, this is a cool way. Bring him back as a horseman and they have to fight him, and he's alive, but also he's evil, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, it seems like season 2 is going to be very, very Apocalypse centric. It seems like we got a lot of the Sentinel stuff out of the way. But just, yeah, this show continues to be the amount of stuff that they can cram in like what, 30-40 minute episode or something. It's very impressive. It just keeps moving. The momentum on this show is crazy. Like, stuff is constantly happening, some might say maybe this episode could have taken an extra beat, maybe just like an extra like couple minutes to like, okay, hold on, the Phoenix returns, takes care of business, and then is gone, and now the plan of the bad guy has changed, and then the bad guy gets, they stop the bad guy from shooting down the thing, but now missiles are coming. Like, so much happens in a very short sequence of time, so maybe they could have taken an extra beat there. I will say it kind of just like bam, 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 like things are happening very quick in this last episode. But yeah, honestly, this is amazing. This is just like, this whole show, the season, this feels like this could have been 3 or 4 seasons worth of content. Like the amount of plot that you went over, the amount of things that happened. Any other show, it feels like they would have taken the Nathan and the clone gene and all, they would have done all that, and that would have been a full season on its own. But they did that, and then they went way past it. And I don't know, this feels like a project that someone was working on, and they're like, hey, we might only get 1 season, so we are going to do every cool thing I can think of, and we're going to do it all in this 1 season, because what if there's not more, What if we don't get another shot at this? But it was really cool. It's kind of like breakneck pace, like, things are happening, keep track of what everyone's saying, because this thing is moving. But I really, really enjoyed it. This was just a wonderful season of TV, and it does kind of make you reflect on some of the more recent Marvel shows. And obviously, like, comments have been made recently by Marvel producers of like, hey, things have not been so great at Marvel Studios lately. We've tried to do too much. We tried to, put out too many projects. We overplayed our hand, and they're trying to slow down, and that's kind of just the new mission statement that they've been parading around for the last week. So yeah, I don't know. What is even the next Marvel? I know we got Deadpool, but is there a show coming out? A Marvel show? I don't actually know. But yeah, just it feels like this is an animated show, and the bar feels way higher now than it was before the show came out. So I don't know. I just hope that from this point moving on, obviously this is not in the main Marvel continuity, but like regardless of that, it feels like anything that this studio puts out now, like, take your time, make it like this good, okay? Don't just put out some nonsense and then have the next project come out because they were working on them simultaneously that they don't mention each other. Don't do another Secret Invasion where most of the audience wants to pretend that show didn't happen. So anyways, just, yeah, this was fantastic TV. Like, I want to go out and buy these action figures, you know what I mean? Like, that's how this makes me feel. Like, I want to go buy all the collectibles, keep them in the box, obviously, of just the whole team here, and just this was just great television. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about X-Men 97, the finale, the whole season as a whole, the future of Marvel. You know, just after this show, it's like, okay, you got a lot to live up to. I hope you don't go back to the, you know, quality of things the way they were. Is Daredevil the next TV show they're coming out with? I think it might be. I feel like Daredevil's coming out pretty soon. Maybe. Anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.